Suffering is a part of the process. And I know that sounds so weird to say, especially in this generation of very sensitive people. I'm gonna just say it flat out. People are a lot more sensitive than they were like a half a century ago. People I think it has a lot to do with social media. It has a lot to do with people comparing themselves to other people, seeing these crazy people on the internet, and then they just believe that this vast majority of people are like these crazy, super arrogant, super ignorant people, comparing themselves to other people, and just this me versus you kind of mentality that people have taken on now today in society, especially in relationships. The me versus you, the men versus women. Men are better at this and women are worse at that. Women are better than this, men are worse at that. And men do this and men are more valuable in this area. Women are more valuable. It's like, dude, who cares, right? This conversation that I'm starting today is about the topic of suffering. Suffering is necessary to grow. You only grow outside of your comfort zone. And the reason I say it's crazy to say is because immediately people are going to think like, oh, like people who are depressed, people who are suicidal, people who want to hurt themselves, that's not good. Like, why would you say something like that? Hear me out. If you didn't ever suffer, would you be where you are today? Would you be as mature as you are today? Would you be as emotionally mature as you are today? You may be in a bad place. You may be in like this desperate way, this very, maybe even like sad way, depressed way. You may not feel very emotionally regulated. You may feel like your emotions are out of control, especially if you're on like a forced spiritual awakening. And you're going through a dark night of the soul or an ego death. But let's just say for now, like, realize that everything that you've gone through in your life has led you to this moment. Every single moment, every single thing has led you to this moment. Maybe even to just watching this video. That's why I say every single moment. We talk about present moment awareness. Every single moment is a miracle. Because it leads to, everything is just, it compounds onto each other. The pain that you went through in your past has led you to this moment. It has led you to learn the lessons that you needed to learn in order to make the decisions that will lead you to the future that you're supposed to live, whatever that might be. Suffering is only necessary until it isn't. Because for most humans, suffering is very unnecessary. Like thinking, the majority of thinking that people do, 99.99999% of the thinking that humans do throughout their day is pointless thinking. Same thing with the suffering. The 99.999% of the emotional suffering that humans go through is pointless. Okay, something bad happened to you. Great. What are you going to do? Are you going to deal with it? Are you going to walk away from her? Are you going to accept it if you can't do anything about it? Let's deal with this from a mature standpoint. Let's deal with situations from this standpoint of discernment, from this standpoint of consciousness, from this standpoint of clarity, conscious clarity, rather than this place of emotional instability. This unconscious chaos, this crashing out that people like to do. And you know what, I'm going to say it. Sometimes, yeah, you have to say no to people. Sometimes you have to go off on people. Sometimes you have to put people in their place. You have to stick up for yourself. But once again, make sure it comes from a place of conscious clarity, not unconscious chaos, not emotional instability. Oh, but my significant other said this to me and I really didn't like it. And now you're thinking about it and ruminating on it for days, weeks, even months, maybe even years. You guys have an argument years down the line and you bring up this moment, even though it's gone. Because you didn't allow that energy to leave. You didn't allow that energy to come in and then just leave naturally. You resisted the flow of life. Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can be transformed or transmuted. Meaning that you can take that energy, that dark energy, and you can turn it into light. You can turn it into a positive for yourself rather than keeping it down as a negative. But you bring up this point of your past into an argument, and it causes even more pain because you haven't really gotten over it. And now you have more pain because as a reaction, your significant other says something back to you that you really don't like. Now you have something else to hold against them. And it just compounds onto itself. And now you're ruining a relationship over something maybe even trivial. Because most of the pain that we like, honestly, that we blow up about, it's pointless. There's no point in all the suffering. Okay, an event happens. So it did. So my car broke down. Okay, so it did. How are we going to deal with it? I don't need to get mad at the car. It's not the car's fault. It just, okay, the car broke down. Now what? Oh, darn, I got a bad grade on this test. So I did. I thought I studied hard enough. I didn't. I'll study harder. Oh, my boss said this to me. Okay. Take it up with HR or just whatever. That's just what my boss is saying. I don't have to add an extra emotional component to it. And that's the content. That's the content of spirituality. You look at the internal world and the external world, and you accept what is. Now, acceptance does not mean approval. You can accept things and still say, like, yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't think it should have happened. I don't want this to happen. But if it does happen, so it happened. I'm at peace. And now we move forward, and we move forward with this new information, this new reality. We move forward in the now. Rather than thinking like 5 steps ahead, we think about step 1, the step that we can take in this moment to deal with whatever situations we have to deal with. Another thing is slowing down. Slow down your breathing, slow down your doing. Obviously live your life, be an adult, go to work on your business, right? Like do the normal things. But do one thing at a time. Don't do something in this moment and then think about what you have to do 5 minutes from now, because it doesn't matter. That causes unnecessary stress. I'm sure you've heard of the quote, or maybe you haven't, that people who are depressed live in the past. People who struggle with anxiety live in the future. But people who are at peace live in the present. Another quote that I like from the movie Kung Fu Panda is just, yesterday was history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. And yes, I just quoted Kung Fu Panda at me. But it's true. Your suffering comes from the mind's inability to live in the now, because it can't really live in the now. I mean, you can train it. You can train it to be more mindful, and you can train your attention span to be better. You can train yourself to focus more. But all in all, the mind, that's what the mind does. It goes back to the past, and it takes the pain of the past, whatever happened in your past, and it projects it into the future, through this conditioned lens. So it takes whatever pain you had in the past, and then it projects into the future with whatever new situation you could have, or whatever new person that you met. You may have had a heartbreak in the past, and now you meet a new person and you project your insecurities, your fears onto this new person, and you end up messing it up with the new person because you couldn't get over the past person because you still have that pain internally inside of you. That sucks. It sucks. But what did we say? Suffering is only necessary until it isn't. Because without suffering, you wouldn't realize that you are not your mind. Without suffering, you wouldn't have this doorway to this awakening. You wouldn't be so mentally tough. You wouldn't be so resilient. You would still be the same immature kid, gullible, saying yes to things that they shouldn't say yes to, or at least saying yes to most of the things that you like, right? Like you're able to reject like a good amount of things. Maybe you still need to learn a couple more lessons, right? And I'm not judging. Some people need to learn the same lesson over and over. Some people don't learn after the first time you tell them not to touch the stove. Sometimes they have to touch the stove a couple more times before they learn. Suffering is a tool, and the mind is the survival tool. Use these tools to further yourself on your self-improvement journey and your spiritual journey. More so your spiritual journey. And then the doing comes as a result. Once you find peace. Live, laugh, learn, and love. I love you. Mwah.